The Legend of the Poinsettia. Once upon a time, in a small village in Mexico, there was a little girl named Lucia. Lucia lived with her mother and father in a cozy house with a small garden. Lucia loved flowers, and her garden was full of colorful blooms. But there was one flower that Lucia loved the most, the poinsettia. It was a beautiful red flower that bloomed during Christmas time, and it brought joy to everyone who saw it. Every year, the villagers decorated the village church for Christmas. They brought flowers and candles to make the church look beautiful for the Christmas Eve service. Lucia's family didn't have much money, but they always brought something special to the church. This year, Lucia wanted to bring the most beautiful poinsettia from her garden. She dreamed of placing it near the altar to make it shine brightly. One day, as Christmas was getting closer, Lucia noticed that the poinsettia plant in her garden was looking sick. Its leaves were wilting, and it had no flowers. Lucia was very sad. She wanted to bring something beautiful to the church, but she didn't know what to do. Lucia's mother saw her sadness and said, "Lucia, don't worry. It's not about the gift itself, but the love and thought you put into it that matters." But Lucia still felt sad. She wanted to give something beautiful to the baby Jesus, and her favorite flower was not blooming. As the days went by, Lucia tried everything she could to make the poinsettia bloom. She watered it carefully, gave it plenty of sunlight, and even sang to it. But nothing seemed to work. The plant remained sad and lifeless. Lucia's mother comforted her, saying, "Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't always go as we hope. But remember, Lucia, your heart is full of love, and that is the greatest gift of all." On the day before Christmas Eve, Lucia decided to go to the church anyway. She picked some green leaves from the garden and put them together in a small bouquet. She knew it wasn't much, but it was all she had. As she walked to the church, she saw other children with beautiful flowers and candles. Lucia felt shy and a bit embarrassed about her simple gift. As Lucia walked through the village, she saw the excitement and joy on the faces of the other children. They carried bright, colorful flowers, and some even had beautiful ribbons and decorations. Lucia felt a pang of sadness, but she held her little bouquet of green leaves tightly. She reminded herself of her mother's words and tried to keep her spirits up. When Lucia entered the church, she saw the beautiful decorations and the grand altar. She felt very small and humble. With a deep breath, she walked up to the altar and placed her green leaves at the feet of the baby Jesus. She closed her eyes and prayed, "Dear Jesus, I wish I could bring you a beautiful flower. Please accept my humble gift." Suddenly, something magical happened. The green leaves that Lucia had placed on the altar started to glow. They turned a bright, beautiful red, just like the poinsettias she loved. The other children and villagers gasped in amazement. The simple green leaves had turned into the most beautiful flowers anyone had ever seen. Lucia's eyes sparkled with joy and wonder. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. The church was now filled with the radiant red of the poinsettias, and everyone was smiling and clapping. Lucia's heart felt warm and full of happiness. The priest of the church came to Lucia and said, "Lucia, this is a true miracle. You have shown us that it is the love and thought behind a gift that makes it truly special. Your humble heart has brought a beautiful gift to us all." As the service continued, the story of Lucia's miraculous poinsettias spread throughout the village. People whispered and marveled at the sight. Some even shed tears of joy, moved by the simple yet profound message that Lucia's gift had conveyed. The church was aglow not just with the light of the candles, but with the warmth of the villagers' hearts, united by the spirit of giving. After the service, Lucia and her family walked home together. The night was crisp and clear, and the stars twinkled brightly in the sky. Lucia held her mother's hand and felt a deep sense of peace. She had learned something very important that night. It wasn't about the size or beauty of the gift, but the love and thoughtfulness behind it. The next morning, as the village woke up to Christmas Day, the story of Lucia's poinsettias was on everyone's lips. Families gathered to celebrate, and the tale of the little girl who brought a miracle to the church was retold with wonder and admiration. Lucia's family received many visitors, all wanting to see the garden where the miraculous poinsettias had grown. Lucia's garden became a symbol of hope and love. People from neighboring villages came to see the beautiful poinsettias and hear the story of how they came to be. Lucia's mother tended to the garden with great care, and each year, the poinsettias bloomed more beautifully than before. From that day on, the poinsettia became known as the flower of the holy night. Every Christmas, the villagers remembered Lucia's humble gift and the miracle that had turned it into something beautiful. They decorated their homes and the church with poinsettias to celebrate the love and joy of Christmas. And so every year, as the poinsettias bloom, we remember that it's not about how grand or expensive a gift is. What matters most is the love and thought we put into it. Just like Lucia, we can all give something special from our hearts. The village continued to thrive, and the story of Lucia's poinsettias was passed down from generation to generation. Children grew up hearing about the little girl with the big heart, and they were inspired to give generously and thoughtfully. The spirit of Christmas was alive and well in the village, and the poinsettias served as a beautiful reminder of the power of love and kindness. Lucia grew up, but she never forgot the miracle of the poinsettias. She tended to her garden with love and care, always remembering the lessons she had learned as a little girl. Every Christmas, she brought a bouquet of poinsettias to the church, just as she had done that magical night. The villagers continued to marvel at the beauty of the flowers and the story behind them. As Lucia grew older, she shared her story with the children of the village. She taught them that the true spirit of Christmas was found in giving from the heart. She reminded them that even the smallest, simplest gift could become something extraordinary when given with love. Lucia's story spread far beyond her village. People from distant lands heard about the miracle of the poinsettias and were inspired to celebrate Christmas with love and generosity. The legend of the poinsettia became a cherished part of Christmas traditions around the world, a symbol of the magic that happens when we give with our hearts. And so, the poinsettia, the beautiful flower of the holy night, continued to bloom each Christmas, a testament to the power of love, kindness, and the true spirit of giving. The moral of the story. We learned from Lucia's story that the most important part of giving is the love and thought we put into our gifts. It's not about how big or fancy the gift is, but the kindness and care behind it. When we give from our hearts, we can create something truly beautiful and special, just like Lucia did with her humble bouquet. The miracle of the poinsettias shows us that love and thoughtfulness are the greatest gifts we can give, and they can turn even the simplest things into something magical.